This is being recorded. I forgot, right? So from now it's being recorded. You just have to accept it. This is just in case that somebody couldn't make it today. Thank you. I can see some more faces now. Great. Now, okay, so I'm going to put you into groups. Now, in your groups, this is a 5-minute speaking activity, and I'm going to give you some different topics. Now, these are the kind of topics that you might get. Who knows? Remember, the topics change every 6 months. Approximately. So here are some typical kind of topics that you might get in part 1 of the speaking paper of the speaking test. So I'm going to put you in groups, ask and answering questions. I'm only going to give you 4 or 5 minutes, and your job is to try and find things that you have in common and things that are different. I'm going to send this in the chat. I'm going to send this in the chat to everybody. So please, you can have a look at this. I've just got it as a... There you go. In the chat, there is a PDF. All right, there's a chat. In the chat, there's a PDF, so please download that, open that. Hello, if you just joined us, I'm going to have to share that again if you've just joined us. Okay, so in the chat, I'm sharing the same thing again. So somebody's just come in and they won't be able to see it. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. So in the chat, you have this. I'm going to put you into groups for 4 or 5 minutes only, speaking to each other. Yeah, I don't know who you are, so this is just going to be random groups of 4 or 5 people in each group. So remember, in your groups, guys, please do put your cameras on, say hello, introduce yourself, and asking and answering questions. You've got 5 minutes, off you go. All right, guys. The rooms are open. Off you go into your rooms. Okay. Yeah, if you just click to go into your rooms. Yeah, Carlos, Katia. Yeah, if you can go into your rooms. All right.
Hola, Albita. Buenas noches. ¿Me escucha?
Yes.
Yes, muy bien. Acabo de ingresar, quería ver cómo avanzan, pero veo que están trabajando en ventanas, en salas, perdón. Ya, entonces aquí voy a esperar.
Okay.
Hi, teachers here. We're all in groups. Everybody was in groups. I'm just going to close the breakout rooms, so we'll all come back. Yeah, if you can put your cameras on, it would be good. Hello, Jenny. Quasker. Is that correct? Nelson and Albita, you were here. Yeah, hi, guys. Jenny, Nelson, Quasker. Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Catherine.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Speak Spanish. Creo que ellos se quedaron acá. Tal vez no ingresaron a algún grupo, me imagino. Albita, Jenny y Quasquare.
Ya, es que todos llegaron tarde. Yo ya estaba en los grupos.
Ah, ya.
Pero
No hay problema.
now
No hay
we're
problema.
coming together. Yeah. They're coming now. They're coming.
Listo. Ok.
Okay, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
I know you might not have had a chance to absolutely finish everything, but never mind. That was just to give you a taste for some of you who might want to speak a little bit of English. That was just to get you into speaking English again. All right. So I'm not. These were the kind of topics. This is what we get. This is the layout. This is the format of the speaking. So you can see here. Part 1 is the kind of topics that we've just been doing now. Yeah, it's only for 2 minutes. It's a conversation between the interlocutor. The interlocutor just means the interviewer, no? Between the interviewer and the candidate. Yeah. And then in part 2, we have what we call a long turn. This is where you speak individually, yeah, for about a minute. we have and then part 3 is a discussion, and then part 4 is another discussion, but with the examiner. So there are 4 parts to the exam, and these will be everything that we'll be looking at today. Yeah. So don't forget there are 2 candidates, sometimes 3, but usually only 2. Yeah. So 2 candidates. This is not individual, and it's for the moment, it's face to face. For the moment, yeah. So we've got 2 candidates and 2 examiners, but only one of them is going to be speaking to you. Yeah, the other person is assessing you, and the other one is actually talking to you. 4 sections, as you can see here. 14 minutes. Well, between 12 and 14 minutes. Yeah, it's I know for that's 12, 13, 14, but there's a little bit of flexibility there. So between 12 and 14 minutes. And as I said, for the moment, it is still face to face. Yeah, who knows in the future? But for now, you have to go to the exam place. You have to, sit in a room with a real person and take the speaking test. Okay, so as I say, these questions that we've just been looking at, that all of these type of things. What do you like about the place where you were brought up? Talk about a family member you get on well with. This is all the type of things, the type of questions that you might get in part 1. Okay, so we're going to look at each part of these in a little bit more detail, and I want to start with, we will be watching some videos. And again, if you've been in my classes before, I do apologize. You may have seen these videos before, but never mind. So we're going to be looking at part 1. And I want you just to look at these sentences, and are they true or false? Yes, so the examiner asks general or personal questions. The examiner asks questions which you discuss with your partner. You and your partner always get the same questions. You should give short answers. You should prepare answers in advance. What do you think? We're going to watch. I'm going to come back to this screen in a moment. We're going to watch a couple of videos. We're going to listen to the examiner, and we're also going to watch the candidates. So first, let's listen to our examiner. There's going to be a series of videos. These videos are short. This one's like 40 seconds, so a series of videos focusing on the So I've still got people coming in. All right, guys. So what happens right at the beginning of the exam? Let's listen to what she says. Yeah, make sure you've got your volume up. I think it's kind of clear, but let's listen to what she says.
At the beginning of the test, the examiner will introduce themselves and ask for your name. They will take your mark sheets and introduce you to the other examiner, who will also listen to your answers. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jenny Cook, and this is my colleague, James Richardson.
Nice to meet you.
And your names are?
My name is Anton Speiser.
And my name is Jinju Kim.
Can I have your mark sheets, please? Thank you.
Okay. Nice and easy. That's what happens at the beginning. Yeah, so that is, just so you know, this is what happens the first 30 seconds of the exam. You will have your mark sheets. The examiner will say, can I have your mark sheets, please? You will give your mark sheets to the examiner. She'll ask your name, general stuff, the easy stuff, no? Okay, so that's right at the beginning of the exam. So remember, on the day of the exam, this person here is asking you questions. This person is listening to you and assessing you. Yeah. All right. That's why there are 2 people in the room. The interlocutor, the interviewer, also grades you, but the person sitting in the corner grades you in more detail. Okay.
At the beginning of the test.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. I'm going to go on to the next screen.
In part.
So, what are you tested on? All right. So again, we're just looking at part 1. Yeah, I'm still only looking at part 1. So let's listen. What does she say?
Part 1 tests your ability to give full answers about familiar topics. So don't just give one-word answers, and don't prepare answers in advance, as this may not sound very natural.
Yeah. Okay. What did she say? Anybody? If you put your hand up, what did she say?
He's going to
That is
ask us about familiar.
Rodrigo. Sorry, I couldn't hear. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody put their hand up. But go on, Rodrigo. I think you had
sorry,
you had the
okay.
loudest voice. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay. She said that she was, well, there you are going to have questions about your general life, like general topics. You don't need to prepare an answer, and you need to avoid answering with only a single word.
Yes. Okay. So if we just go back here, the examiner asks general or personal questions. Yes. So part one is really general, but it is all about you. What do you like? What are your hobbies? What do you like doing with your family? It's about you. It's easy because it's about you. It's nothing too abstract, no? The examiner asks questions which you discuss with your partner. False, 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 false. Not in this part, not in part one. Remember, I'm only talking about part one. Yeah, part one, the examiner will ask you questions and they will direct them. They will go, Jackie, Maria Elena, Jackie. You know, so it's obvious who they're speaking to. You know exactly when you have to answer. You and your partner always get the same questions, not necessarily. In fact, no, I'm going to say no, you don't. Yeah, there may be one or two the same, but no, not necessarily. And in this part of the test, it's only 2 minutes. You might only get one question. One or two questions is probably all you're going to get here. It depends how long your answers are. Number 4, you should give short answers. No, but not too long either. Remember, you are assessed at all parts of the test on your conversational skills. Yeah, you have to share the time with your partner. Yeah, we've only got 2 minutes. If you speak and speak and speak and speak and speak and speak, yeah, you're not giving any chance to your partner. So just be aware. It's not just about your grammar. It's about being aware of who you're speaking to as well. So not short answers, but equally not too long. And don't prepare answers in advance because it's so obvious and the examiner will probably just stop you. The first question is, where do you live? And many people just rehearse this and they just come, I live in the north of Quito. Quito is the capital of Ecuador. It's like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. We know where Quito is, so keep it as natural as possible. Of course, you can think of some ideas beforehand. Yeah, Jorge, you have a question.
Another question, okay, but I have one experience, okay. I remember that for a test in one exam, in the face-to-face with the interview, is the nervous, but for example, he told me, okay, relax, don't worry, okay. For example, they do the questions, and especially for me, okay, hey, today the weather is hot. No? Yeah, it's hot, but it's a trust, continue the practice. But the first moment is maybe it's the nervous, but after pass the time, we get the trunk control. It's a confidence. It's my opinion, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's natural to be nervous in this situation because, it is a test. But this is why the questions at the beginning are kind of easy, just to make it not too difficult at the beginning. Okay. All right. So we've looked at some of this. So I want everybody to just imagine you are in the exam and they ask you these questions. Where do you live? Or where do you come from? Where do you live? Where do you come from? What sort of? They use this word a lot, no? What sort of? What sort of? It means what kind of, what type of. It's very British. Remember, it is British English. No? So what sort of TV programs do you enjoy? Do you have any plans for your next holiday? Yeah, so just think about your answers. I'm not going to ask everybody. Absolutely not. But just think about your answers. Imagine you're in the exam. I'm just going to give everybody a minute to think about that. What would you answer if you were in the exam? Yeah, just take a minute to think about that. I'm going to come back to them later. So remember, it's getting the balance between more than one word, but not too long. Yeah, finding the balance. Where do you live? I mean, where do you live? Where do you live? You know, in the north of Quito, that's enough. You don't really need to say much else. Yeah, this is the one where people practice and rehearse it and memorize it the most. And I know that many examiners will just go, okay, and stop you. Yeah, so make sure it's not memorized. Yeah, I live in the north of Quito, or I'm from Guayaquil, but now I live in Cuenca. Enough. Yeah, so it's just keeping them as short as possible. Okay, I'm going to come back to these questions in a moment. I'm going to move on. So just remember these: where do you live? What sort of, what kind of, what type of TV programs do you enjoy? Do you have any plans for your next holiday? Yeah. All right. Now, we're going to watch some videos. We've got our two candidates. We're going to be watching them do all parts of the test today. Do you think the candidates spoke for the right length of time and gave relevant answers? What do you think? Let's listen to our two. Sorry, this is only the first minute of the test. All right, let's listen.
Where are you from, Anton?
I'm from Germany, but I grew up in Belgium, Brussels.
And you, Jin?
I'm from South Korea, and my city is near the capital city in Seoul.
First, we'd like to know something about you. So, Anton, what sort of television programs do you enjoy?
To be honest, I'm not the person that watches TV often because I think it's a useless time to waste. So I'm more the type of person to go out and meet my friends.
And Jin, do you have any plans for your next holiday?
I think next holiday I'm going to Japan with my family because I've been in here a long time, so I miss my family, and I'm usually going to holiday with my family. So next holiday I'm going to Japan.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Yeah, so this was these two candidates doing just the very first part of the test. No, now I'm not going to get in a lot of feedback because there's a big group today. But have a think about these questions. I mean, do you think they spoke for the right length of time? Do you think they gave relevant answers? Yeah, we're going to just listen to
Where are you?
what she says, what the examiner says. Yeah, what does she say about the candidates? All right, let's just listen.
Anton is asked about the TV programs he enjoys. Although he doesn't like watching TV, he answers the question fully and doesn't just give one-word answers. Jin also answers the questions fully, but there is a little repetition when talking about her holiday plans.
Okay. All right. So they were both okay. The guy, Anton, is a little bit stronger than the lady, no? So there was the question about what sort of TV programs do you like? He doesn't watch TV. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You don't have to panic or anything. He was like, I'm not the type of guy that does that. He called it useless, a waste of time. That's okay. He gave a good answer. He still answered the question. Okay. All right. Now, what sort of television programs do you enjoy? Look at these three answers. Which one do you think is the best? You can circle right on my screen, circle on my screen. Which one do you think is the best?
I think reality TV programs because we have short time to answer the question.
I think I like reality TV programs, especially music competitions. Because, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? If you want to just draw, as I said, if you draw my screen, then I can see how many people, what people think. you remember how to draw on your screen? Or is it a long time since you did Zoom?
Diana Garcia. Me.
Yeah, if you draw on my screen, that's what I'm saying. The draw on my screen. All right, everybody so far, I mean, only 3 people have drawn on my screen. But yes, and this is what Diana, this is what you said, isn't it? Yeah, reality TV programs is too short. Yeah, not just, this one, no, too short, too short, too short. The other one is too long, but also, this is somebody who is just, I don't know, they're just talking and talking and talking. No, they're not really answering the question. I mean, okay, they said, I like music programs. I like reality TV programs. I supported a singer. I voted for him. Yeah, too much information. Keep it on the topic. Yeah, it has to be relevant. So, yeah, this one, no. So this one is, like you've all said, this is the one that we want to focus on. So, I mean, so 2 or 3 sentences maximum is enough in part 1. We're only in part 1, but this is kind of the kind of thing that we're going to be looking at. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Yes, it was that one. So speaking part 1, what is being tested here? Yeah. General interaction, and on social language skills. So the examiner will ask you and the other candidate for some personal information at the beginning, obviously your name and where do you live, and then they will say, okay, now we'd like to know something about you, and they'll ask you things about, depends. We don't know the topics. Some of the things we had at the beginning, it could be your family, it could be your job, it could be your studies or school if you're a student, it could be holidays, it could be your weekends, it could be food, that type of thing. You get the idea, no? So these are the types of things that we're going to be talking about. And it could be things in the past, it could also be things about your future as well. And this part of the test is only about 2 minutes. Yeah. Speak clearly. I mean, speak clearly in all parts of the test. Try to relax. Was it Jorge? You said, yeah, maybe you're nervous. I promise you, well, I'm not going to promise, but most people are only nervous for the first, the first 10 seconds are the worst, no? If you get through the first 10 seconds, then you're going to be okay. Yeah, so try to relax and speak confidently. Not speaking monotone, so not just speaking like this, but make your voice go up and down. You have to sound like you're interested and interesting as well. And if you don't know a word, that is okay. That we forget words. Sometimes in your exam you forget a word, and afterwards you be going, oh my god, I forgot a word. Don't worry about it. I forget words. We all forget words, so don't worry. Try and say it in another way. Try and not leave really long pauses. I mean, speak to say, oh, I can't remember the word. It's, and keep going. Yeah. Listen carefully, but if you don't understand, the best thing to do is ask them to repeat. Don't just keep going, think that you've understood and just continue. No, please just ask them to repeat. It is not a problem if you ask the examiner to repeat. If you ask them every single question, then that could be a problem. But 1 or 2 or 3 times in the exam, don't worry about it. It's absolutely okay. Yeah, and as we said, avoid giving one-word answers, but also don't speak for too long. Okay, guys, I'm actually gonna. Any questions about part 1 of the exam? Because I'm going to give people a short break now. Any questions about part 1? No questions? Okay, actually, before we take a break, I'm going to get you doing another very short speaking activity. So I realize we don't have a lot of time. So back to my slide. All right, so I want you all to think of how you could finish these questions. Yeah. Finish the 6 questions. I'm going to change this because we're not going to have time to ask 6 questions. I'm going to change this to finish 2. Yes. All right. So I want you to finish 2 questions. For example, what sort of music do you like? Do you have any plans for the weekend, for the holiday, for whatever? Yeah. Do you enjoy, do you enjoy plus ing? Do you enjoy reading? Do you enjoy listening to music? Yeah. How do you like to spend your evenings, weekends, whatever? Yeah. Tell us about what's your favorite. All right. I'm going to give everybody 1 minute. I'm going to put you into groups in exactly 1 minute. Yeah, I want everybody to write 2 questions. 2. That's all. 2 questions, everybody. 2 questions. "20 seconds. I'm going to stop it in a moment. Okay, and you're going into groups. There's 3 of you in each group. Ask your 2 questions. Remember, not too long, not too short. Off you go. Your answers, not too long, not too short. I'll be closing the rooms in about 3 minutes. Yeah, so keep it brief. Off you go, guys, into your rooms. If you go into your rooms. Yeah, guys, can you go into your rooms?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, my computer doesn't want to work. Please, I cannot hear you.
It's because we're in groups. We're all in groups now, Jenny.
And I have 2 devices and my cell phone. I don't have it in the meeting. I am not in the meeting. with my cell phone. I don't know why. Just in this room. I am just in this room.
Are you on 2 devices?
Uh-huh. It is because my
What's-
computer is working bad.
Okay. What's your name on the other device? Is it still Jenny Caballero?
Uh-huh, yes.
Yeah, there's only one of you here.
Sorry?
There's only one. There's only one of you here.
Yeah, but here in my computer is okay, okay.
No,
I
go
have
to room
here,
8. Go to room 8.
I don't understand you.
Room 8. Yeah, join the room. We're going to finish in a moment anyway. That is. Okay. All right. Most of you are back. Okay. So, yeah, as I said, these are the types of questions that you might be asked in part 1. Easy, no? Easy?
Yes.
Yeah, part 1's nice. Part 1, yeah, you know, it's surprising how many people, when they do the test, they go, "Oh, that was fun." honestly. Okay. All right, guys. So that is, we've only done part 1. Yeah, there were 4 parts. But let's take a break now. So come back. Let's take a 10-minute break, and we'll come back and have a look at the other parts of the test. Okay. Take a break.
Okay, 10 minutes,
See you in
right?
10 minutes. See you in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay, very good.
Yes, take it.
Thanks. Okay.
Continue. All right, so I'm going to continue. We're going to go into part 2 of the speaking. Now, I know, again, some of you will be familiar with this. We're going to watch a couple of videos. I'm just going to go back to our examiner. So I've got some people in the waiting room. Yeah, we're going to go back to our examiner. And we're going to listen to her telling us about the exam and watch the candidates doing the exam, and then we will practice with it. Okay. All right. You're here. Okay, all right. No worries. Okay, so what happens? So this is part 2. And now, if you remember, I'm just going to go back to my very, very, very first slide, almost my first slide. Part 2 is the long turn. This is where you speak on your own. Now, you only speak on your own for about a minute. Yeah, but we'll see what happens because it kind of goes backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards a little bit. Okay, so part 2 is where you're given the photos, no? I'm again sure some of you are aware of this. Okay, so let's go back to where I was here. All right, so again, let's listen to our examiner. And if you look here, they've got a little bit of a task for you to do, and you can. Don't worry, Marta, come and join us. Please feel free to draw on my screen. No, so here there are 2 or 3 photographs to compare. You probably know some of these answers already. The candidates have to talk together or on their own in part 2. In part 2. In part 2. You are candidates. Speculate and give opinions or give detailed descriptions. That's a bit of a tricky one. I don't know if she says. And here you speak about the pictures for 30 seconds or 1 minute. It's better to stop talking or it's better for the examiner to stop you. All right, see if we can get some of these answers. I want people to circle. Please circle on my screen. Don't shout out. You can write on my screen, guys. Okay, let's listen to our examiner.
In part 2 of the speaking test, you will have to talk for 1 minute without interruption about 2 photographs. First, the examiner gives you a piece of paper with 2 photos and asks you to compare the 2 pictures and also to answer the question above the pictures. After your turn, your partner is asked a question on the topic of your photos, and they should give a shorter answer of approximately 30 seconds. Part 2 of the speaking test assesses your ability to make comparisons, speculate, and express your opinions. However, you do not have to give detailed descriptions. It gives you further opportunity to demonstrate your vocabulary and fluency. It is important to talk for 1 minute, and the examiner will tell you when to stop talking. You don't have time to prepare for this part of the test, so you should start speaking when the examiner asks the question. Try to speak for the full minute, and don't worry about the time, because the examiner will stop you. It's better to be stopped by the examiner than to finish talking after 30 seconds. So don't worry if the examiner stops you. You haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. I think, okay, good. Number 1. Yeah, we've got some answers here. So there are 2 photographs. Yes, in C1 there are 3, but in B2 there are 2 photographs to compare. Number 2, nobody's answered number 2. Number 2, the candidates have to talk together or on their own about the photographs. Can somebody circle the correct answer? Do they speak? This is in part 2. Do they speak together or on their own? They have to talk together. Right, we'll come back. What are you tested on? Yeah, speculation. Speculation is really important here in part 2. Yeah, you're talking about photographs, and we don't know who these people are in these photographs, so it's always good to speculate. I'm just going to change this one. You talk on your own about the photos. On your own. Yeah. Okay. She said specifically that it is not necessary to give detailed descriptions. Yeah, it's much more important to speculate, and you're also asked a question as well. You speak about your pictures for 1 minute, and it's better for the examiner to stop you. Correct. So all of these were correct. Yeah. There was something they mentioned, something about 30 seconds. What was that? Did anybody hear? Did she mention 30 seconds? Why did she say 30 seconds? Okay, let me just briefly explain. So imagine I've got Christian and Estefania. No, they are my candidates. So Christian talks about his photo for 1 minute, his photos. But then I say to Estefania, I say, oh, what do you think? And I ask her a question, and she has to answer that in approximately 30 seconds. That is not her turn yet. Then Estefania gets her photos. She talks for 1 minute, and then Christian will also talk for 30 seconds. So it kind of goes backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. We're going to see how it works now by looking at the videos. Okay, let's watch a video again. So lots of different videos here. Let's see what happens. So I want you to listen very carefully to her instructions. What does she say? All right, so she goes, oh, hang on a minute. I'm just trying to clear that. Okay, so look at the instructions here. You can write, if you want, you can write your answers in the chat. So they show people. Okay, I want you to listen for the instructions and try and listen to what she says, because obviously it's important that we understand the instructions. All right, let's listen. What does she say?
In this part of the test, I'm going to give each of you 2 photographs.
Okay, not yet.
I'd like you to talk about your photographs on your own for about a minute, and also to answer a short question about your partner's photographs.
Now, Anton.
Anton, it's your turn first. Here are your photographs. They show people travelling around a city in different ways. I'd like you to compare the photographs and say why you think they have chosen to travel around the city in these ways. All right?
Oh, I'm going to play it one more time. See if you can write some answers in the chat. Just put any number. So they show people. Okay, hang on.
In this part of photographs, I'd like you to talk about your photographs on your own for about a minute, and also to answer a short question.
It's now Anton.
Anton, it's your turn first. Here are your photographs. They show people travelling around a city in different ways.
They show people traveling around a city
in different ways.
In different ways. Exactly. Yes, those people in the chat were correct. Yeah.
I'd like you to compare the photographs and say why you think they have chosen to travel around the city in these ways.
Okay. I'd like you, I was going to check the chat. I'd like you to compare the photographs. And say, I'd like you to compare the photographs and say why you think they have decided to travel around the city. There's a mistake here in these ways.
In this way.
Okay, so you can see they ask you to compare, but they also ask you to answer a question. So compare the photographs, you'll always have to do that, and answer a question. Why do you think they're doing this? Why do you think what do you think they're enjoying? You know, so you have to make sure you're listening to the question. Now, the question is also written on the photo. So if you forget the question, don't worry, because it is written down. Okay, let's listen to Anton. Yeah, we're going to listen to his, let me just check the chat. Have I got everybody's answers? Yeah, we're going to listen to Anton talking about his photograph. So does he talk about both pictures? Does he answer the question? Does he speak for a whole minute? Let's listen to Anton. Sorry.
Should I start?
Yes, you should start, Anton. Okay.
So in the first picture, it's shown a subway station where the train just has been stopped. There are like people coming out and people waiting in front of the train. In the second picture, I see people riding with bikes through the city. And I think people have chosen to travel around the city these ways because nowadays it's really hard to go around with cars, and because the city is often too stressful, so these people are trying to take another way to get to their jobs, or I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you see that the examiner stopped him, you know, and it doesn't matter if you haven't finished your answering the question, you know, don't worry about that. But did he talk about both pictures? Yeah, he talked about both pictures. Does he answer the question?
Yes.
Yes, he answers the question. Yes, yes, people in chat. And he did speak for the full minute. Yes, she stopped him. Yeah, so this is the kind of thing. He's a kind of a good candidate to be watching, and you will build. You know, when you're listening to him, you go, "Whoa, you know, he's got a lot of grammar mistakes." He isn't perfect. He does have grammar mistakes, but he's doing okay. He probably passed the B2. He did pass the B2. Okay, all right. So he talks about his photographs. Yeah. Now, listen, let's just listen to what the examiner says about this. Again, it's only, 15 seconds. What does she say?
Anton answers the question well by briefly describing the photographs, using a range of vocabulary to suggest why each group of people has chosen to travel that way. Some errors occur with sentence structure and word order.
Okay, but generally, it was kind of well organized. He gave a brief description, and do keep it brief because you need to make sure that you have time to compare and to answer the question. If you only describe, you will run out of time. And if you describe, then your language could well be of a lower level, no? Because language of description, there are two people, they are in a cafe. That's not B2. It looks as if the people might be doing something. So we need to get higher level language. Okay, now don't forget, after this, your partner is asked a brief question. Let's listen to the question that she is asked. And what does she answer?
Now listen to the question that Jin is asked, and then listen to her response. Jin, do you enjoy cycling?
No, because I don't ride a bicycle, so I never try to ride bicycle because I have something. No, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. It was okay. I mean, she kind of wasn't quite sure what to say, but this is what happened. So remember, he had a photo of the subway or the metro and people cycling. And then she was like, oh, do you like cycling? Yeah. So the follow-up question is related to the pictures. No? And then the same happens again. I'm going to jump over the videos now of Lynn or Jin. Yeah, but it's exactly the same happens again. Okay, so just to kind of clarify, so in part 2, so this is the individual long turn. what's being attested here? You're really tested on your ability to organize your ideas. You have to speak for a minute, no? And you know, so organization, cohesion, coherence, all of these things are really being tested here. Grammar, vocabulary, of course, come up as well. Okay, so the examiner, yeah, you're given 2 photographs, you've got to compare them, answer the question, and then you're also going to answer a short question about your partner's photographs as well. Okay, so as I mentioned, something that is important is speculating. So first, I want you to look at these 2 photos. How could you compare them? Now, you can write some ideas in the chat, or you can put your hand up, your virtual hand. I cannot see everybody. I can see 3 people at the moment. So if you put your hand up, your real hand, I won't see you. You need to put your virtual hand up. Yeah, do you know where your virtual hand is? Like this, yeah? Put your virtual hand up if you want to say anything, or you can write something in the chat. But how would you compare these pictures? What could you say? First, what do they have? These are very, very similar, no? Very similar. Usually they would be more different, no? But what do these pictures have in common?
Both families are eating.
Yeah.
And also are on the beach.
Exactly.
Behind of them is the beach.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah. Yeah, family reunion.
They look like they are enjoying time together.
Yes.
Meal time.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to go on, Jorge, just final thing. So I'm going to focus just on one photo in a moment, because in the exam they would be more different. Yeah, these 2 are very, very similar. Jorge, you have a question or something?
Yeah, okay. It's similar, but I can see the difference in 2 states. For example, in the picture number 1, maybe it's a camping. Number 1 is similar, but I think it's a breakfast, picnic. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe yes, there.
Yeah. These 2 are they're too similar, these, yeah. The ones that we're going to look at are more different. I want you to focus on just this one now. Now, as I said, it is important to speculate. Now, just have a look at this description. What language are they using to speculate? So speculation, when you're not 100% sure, no, I can't say, you know, this is a family, he's the dad, she is the mom, because I don't know. And also it's on the B1 level. Yeah, so what language you can, yeah, imagine, I imagine that. Yeah, please, again, feel free to underline anything on my screen. Yeah, you can write on my screen, modal verbs, yeah, absolutely. Modals, yeah, saying things like I think, I imagine, I guess. Yeah, please do underline on my screen. I guess this is a family on holiday somewhere by the sea, somewhere nice and warm. I imagine the older man on the right yeah, exactly, the modal verbs. Yeah, things like perhaps. So I imagine that the older man on the right is the father of the girl, and perhaps the woman on the right is his wife. The man and woman sitting on the floor could be friends, or maybe they are brother and sister. This is all speculation, no? They are probably having lunch or a snack. They all look as if they are enjoying the food. They look as if. It seems that, yeah, I get the impression that they are staying at an expensive place. Anyway, yeah. Okay, but all of this language that has been underlined, thank you, teachers, is all of the kind of language that we could be using to speculate. Good. So, can anybody remember any of the words? Okay, I've tried to hide them. So the first one, well, I guess. I guess, yeah, this is a family on holiday. Thank you. I guess this is a family on holiday. Thank you.
Suppose.
On
Could
holiday
be I
somewhere.
suppose.
It could also be, it could be suppose. Absolutely, you're right. Of course, it could be. There's different, I think, I guess. I imagine, was that next one imagine? There's an eye that's poked out. Yeah, could be imagine. I imagine the older man on the right. All right, Stephanie, I think you've given me all the answers. Yeah, I imagine that the older man on the right. Yeah. Yeah. Have a look at those. I'm going to show them in a moment. Yeah, so I just show you the answers. Yeah, we've got things like could and perhaps. Yeah. Okay. All right. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to go back and take these away now. So here, I get the impression it's coming out backwards, I'm afraid. Yes, you can see. So these were the words that I was focusing on. Yeah. All right. So I guess this is a family holiday. I imagine. Yeah. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that we have to do, teachers, not just simple descriptions, but a little bit of speculation as well. Okay, now I'm going to put you into groups. So this is the kind of thing that you will get in the test. Yeah, so we've got candidate A and candidate B. You can see you only get 2 photos. I'm going to send you this in the chat, and I'm going to put you into groups of 3. I'm only putting you into groups of 3 because somebody might disappear. That's why I'm putting you into groups of 3. But I'm going to send you this in the chat. Now, you are in groups of 3, possibly even 4. Make sure that you all get a chance to talk about some of these photos. So think about how you could compare them, so remember talking about how they are similar, how they are different, and also making sure that you answer the question. Now, as I said, sorry, I'll just go back to my screen. As I said, when you are given these in the exam, the question, can you see? The question is all written. How important is it to help people in these situations? What are the people enjoying about spending time in these gardens? Yeah, so the question is there. Okay, so I'm going to put you into groups for about, you don't have the follow-up question, don't worry about that. So you only need to speak for 1 minute each. Yeah, so, but I will put you into your groups for about 3 minutes. Okay. Okay, I think I've got the right thing here. All right, guys, before you go to your groups, please download this document because you probably can't access it when you're in your groups. Oh gosh, I've just sent it. Cliff, why did I only send it to you? Yeah, everybody, can you see it in the chat? Please download. Right now you all have it. Download it before. Okay, all right. I'm going to put you into groups. So please make sure that you both, so I want you to do 2 things. Make sure that you both decide who is A, who is B, who's going to go first. So there's 2 photos for person A and 2 photos for person B. They're all on the same sheet. No? talk about it, do it, speak for a minute, make sure your partner, time each other, help each other in this part, help each other, time each other, and you could talk about it afterwards, give each other feedback. If there are 3 of you in your group, make sure that then the other person also gets a chance to speak as well. Okay, all right. If you've got any problems, like your partner disappears, let me know. That's why I'm putting most of you in groups of 3. Okay, off you go, teachers. Off you go. Did you not go to your rooms? Okay. They're almost back. Okay. All right. So how was that? Did you manage to speak for a minute? Yeah. Did you manage to compare the two photos? Did you speculate?
We try to use the words that we learn in this class using perhaps, could be, probably. It's a little difficult, but we are trying to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just showing that that you're not, it's not just a description, no? And did you answer the question that was on the top of the paper? That's important as well. Yeah, because that will kind of almost force you to speculate, because it usually says, why do you think they are, or why might they be enjoying themselves, so that is important to speculate there. Okay, we've still got part 3 and part 4. Part 3 we're going to look at now, and then part 4 we'll look at both of them, no? So part 3, who knows what happens in part 3? Has anybody seen part 3? Anybody want to guess, or maybe what happens in part 3? Nobody's taking any chances. You do right. There's no speculation today. Okay. All right. So part 3 is what is known as the collaborative task. No. So this is where you talk with your partner. There's a reason that there are 2 people in the room. And part 3 is where you talk to your partner, and the examiner sits back and listens. Now, I've probably answered some of these questions for you. I want you to have a look at these 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 questions here. Are they true or false? And 5 and 6, we're going to answer these questions. Yeah, so we're going to watch a couple of videos again of this part. We're going to listen to the examiner giving the instructions, etc., so you know exactly what will be coming on the day. Okay. All right. Am I sharing? Yeah.
In part 3 of the speaking test, you work together with your partner. You're given a diagram with a question on and points or prompts around the outside of the question to discuss. Then you decide on the best solution for the question. You have about 15 seconds to read the information before speaking. First, you should discuss each of the prompts with your partner for about 2 minutes. Then the examiner will stop you and ask you to come to a decision about something together. You will have about 1 minute to do this.
Okay. All right, guys. So in part 3, you discuss something with your partner. True or false? True or false? True or false? True or false? Tell me. Number 3. In part 3, you discuss something with your partner.
True.
True. Thank you. It's true. We have a big T there. You both look at a diagram which has a question in the middle. Yeah, and getting some answers in the chat as well. Yes, some people are putting answers in the chat. Yes, that is also true. Now, so there is a question in the middle. We're going to see this, no? There's a question in the middle, and around the question, there are 5 pictures. Is that true? It's false, says Susanna, and Susanna is correct. It's not, and the reason is that it's not pictures, it's ideas. It's words. It's words. It's not pictures. In the past, it used to be. No, I don't know if anybody took the FCE like in 2015. We had pictures, but now 2023 we have words. What about in before? You need to start talking as soon as you see the diagram. She said something quite quickly. What, you know? So imagine you're in the exam. I give you it. I say, is that it is that. She's correct. That is false. Why?
Because we have to wait to read about 15 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. So you are given 15 seconds. I know it doesn't sound a lot, but it's kind of enough just to kind of look, look at the question, look at the ideas, and start thinking a little bit. No, so don't start speaking straight away. Take the time, and the examiner will tell you. You don't need to count for 15 seconds. The examiner will give you 15 seconds. The examiner is looking at the clock, and then the examiner will say, "Okay, now talk together." Okay, now there are two parts to this. Yeah, candidates discuss the question and prompts for 4 minutes. Is that true or false?
False.
False, because how long?
2 minutes.
Is 2 minutes. Now this is only 2 minutes the first time. Yeah. If there's a group of 3, it's longer, no, but usually it's a group of 2 people and you have 2 minutes. Okay, good. And the final one, the examiner asks you a second question and you need to try and make a decision in 1 minute. Somebody thinks that's true. Exactly. That one is true. Yes, so that's a T. Sorry, that's a T. Yeah, so there are 2 parts there's 2 parts to this. Yeah, as we will see. Okay. I'm going to move on, guys. All right. So we're going to, I'm going to just stop. I'm going to just share in the chat. Sorry. Please just download this. So it says B2 speaking part 3. Yeah. So I want you all to have a look at this that I've just sent you. Okay, please download that. Did you all get that? So I want you to, we're going to listen to the examiner's question and imagine that you're in the exam and take your 15 seconds. What are you going to do? You've got a bit of a head start. What are you going to do with your 15 seconds? Okay, so let's listen to what she says.
Well, now I'd like you to talk about something together for about 2 minutes. Here are some things people think about when they're choosing a future career, and a question for you to discuss. First, you have some time to look at the task.
Okay, so this is your 15 seconds. Look at it, think about it. And I think that's your 15 seconds up. All right. So that's kind of around about
well, now
15 seconds. So this is what you've got now. It's what I sent you in the chat. And I'm not going to get you to talk about it yet, but we will be. So you can see that you have a question and then some ideas. Now in the exam, so there's 2 phases now. In the first 2 minutes, the idea is that you talk about all of these. So you could say, okay, let's talk about the opportunity to travel. You talk about that, you talk about that, not for long. You've only got 2 minutes to talk about everything now. And then you're going to move on and talk about salary. You don't have to choose the most important. Yeah, don't do that, because that will come in the second part. Yeah, so in the first 2 minutes, you're just talking about all of these. Now, if you don't talk about all of them, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. You know, you just, you know, you have to make sure that you're relevant. Don't go off and talk about something different. But you know, if you don't talk about how interesting the work is, it doesn't matter. You know, don't think it. You know, it's not a problem. Okay, so let's listen to our candidates. And again, just some things for you to think about. You know, how many things do they discuss? Well, we didn't have time to do this one, so don't worry about that. I didn't give you time to think about that one. Do they talk for about the same length of time? This means, is it kind of equal between the two candidates? Because it should be fairly equal. Do they show good interaction? Because this is what is really important here. How do you interact with your partner? All right, let's just listen to how they do this. So you can see this is about 2 minutes, guys. So we're going to listen to the whole interview here. How do they do?
Now, talk to each other about how important it is to think about these things when choosing a future career.
Yeah, shall we start? How
Yeah.
about think how interesting the work is?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most the most difficult point in this diagram, because you have to choose an interesting job that you like.
Yeah.
So when you don't have the you don't like your job, you're not having fun, this will be not a good career to choose. Should we talk about the difficult of finding a job?
Yeah, so nowadays I think the difficult of the final job, so we should check the community, or we should join the internet or social, and that they give a feedback or advice. So we checked, and then what kind of job I like, or so I think.
Yeah,
So.
that's true, because nowadays many students and teenagers have difficulty to find their future job, and also what they want to study, because they don't like think about it, and so you have to think about it already before finishing school, because it's really hard to find study places and also the future job.
To move on this, do you think the opportunity to travel is important?
Yeah, you should like it's that depends like on the person you are. If you like traveling a lot, you should like it's a good opportunity to find a job where you travel a lot.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you.
Okay. Don't worry, Chris. All right. Did they, I don't know whether you were following this, but did they talk about most of the points here? Let's go back here. Did they talk about most of these or not?
Yes, but she not too much.
Okay. Yeah. I don't.
Maybe they were talking about money, but I didn't hear them about the salary. This is the topic. Maybe they didn't talk about that one.
Yeah.
Or it was too little.
Yeah, they didn't talk about all of them, but it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. As I said before, you know, they spoke for the 2 minutes and they carried on talking. What about this? Somebody's just mentioned this. Did they talk for the same length of time, or did you feel he was talking too much or more?
I think that the lady was talking a little bit longer than him.
Do you think? Okay.
Yeah, well, actually, I think two things. Number one, I think that when it happened, I mean, the lady spoke a little bit longer, and number two, they were too nervous. They were speaking, but it was like they were nervous. So they weren't
Yeah.
they weren't so confident at the moment to give the ideas. Maybe because of the test.
Exactly. Yeah, they were a little bit nervous, but yeah, it's because of the test. They also knew that there would be lots of teachers later watching their videos. They're being videoed as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean it was fairly even, but let's see. In a moment we'll see what the examiner said. So this is the first part of it, no? Then there is a second part to it. Look at the instructions at the top. Yeah, look at the instructions, and we're going to play the second part of the video. This is shorter. This is only 1.5 minutes. So try and complete the instructions and also choose the correct answer A, B, or C here on the left.
Now you have about a minute to decide which of these things is most important to think about when choosing a career.
Okay, before they speak, what were the instructions? Now you have about
a minute.
A minute. Thank you. Now you have about a minute to decide
which of these things?
Which of these things is. So now you have about a minute.
It's important to think about when choosing a career.
Is most important, I heard somebody say, is most important to think about when choosing a career. So now you have to try and, you're still looking at the piece of paper, and now you have to try and agree on something. But you've only got a minute, right? You've only got a minute. Let's see, I'm going to continue. Have a look at ABC here as well.
I would like take this point, qualification and experience.
Yeah, what?
Needed because if you don't have the qualifications and the experience, then you can choose a career.
Yeah.
In my opinion, what do you think?
My opinion, I suppose, how interesting the work is really important for me, because when I work and then if I don't have an interest in work, it could be not good, I think, because maybe if I enjoy the work, it could be make more high energy or make the salaries high.
Yeah, I would agree with you. So I would like to say these 2 points are the most important things to consider, because the salary and the opportunity to travel and the difficulty of finding a job is not as important as the other points.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, so that is part 3. So as I said, you can see that there are 2 parts to it. So which of these, choose the correct answer, A, B, or C, according to what we saw here? The candidates discuss all the points again. The candidates agree on the same point. The candidates choose 2 points. What did they do? A, B, or C?
C.
A, B, or C? A, B, or C? They did.
C.
They did C. They actually chose 2.
Yes.
And again, it's okay. Also, it doesn't ask you to choose 2. It asks you to choose 1. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you are interacting and that you are trying to come to an agreement. And it's even okay if you don't agree with each other. It doesn't matter. You have to show that you are trying to negotiate. No, you are trying to agree with each other, but you've only got a minute, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, so that is part 3. That is the collaborative task. Any questions about the collaborative task? All right. Even though we're running short of time, I'm going to put you into groups for 2 minutes. Make sure you've got it. So only 2 minutes. I'm going to close the rooms after 2 minutes. So again, don't worry if you don't finish. No. So for 2 minutes, I want you to, you've all got the same that I sent in the chat before, in the same, it says, B2 speaking part 3. Yeah, you already got that in the chat. Talk about that for 2 minutes. You have the question and you have some ideas around the edge, and I want you to talk about some of the ideas. All right, guys, I'm going to put you into groups for 2 minutes. Yeah, there'll be 2 or 3 of you in each group. All right, off you go.
Sorry, could you repeat the activity, please?
Yeah, you're going to do the part 3 task. Yeah. It's the, yeah. Do you have the PDF that I sent in the chat before, Chris?
Okay.
Check in your chat.
Yes, I'm checking the chat. Thank you, teacher.
Do you have it?
No, I have no one.
Sorry, let me send it again.
Okay, now I have it. Thank you so much, teacher.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, if you go into your room.
Okay, I have to go to my room.
Did you have time? Did you have time to do it?
No, I don't have time to do it yet.
Oh.
I didn't
Sorry.
find the file, so I couldn't do this.
Oh,
We don't have
sorry.
too much time. Don't worry. Thank you.
Okay, all right. I know that was a little bit rushed, but you were there. I put you in the rooms for 2 or 3 minutes, so hopefully you had time to do that. Now, I'm going to finish, I promise, in about 2 minutes. Some questions. Put your hands up. What will you do? Yes.
So sorry.
Gregory, go on.
I have a question, but it is well about. Is it good or, well, I don't know if it is right or wrong talking about personal experience when we are talking about, well, like in this kind of diagram, like the difficulty of finding a job, some of us are including personal experiences, personal criteria about our situation in the country. So I don't know if that is right or wrong.
Yeah.
If I should avoid those things, or is it good?
No, as long as no, no, it's fine. It's fine. You can, you might say, "Oh, I think this is a good idea," and this is what happened to me. This is my experience. It's absolutely fine, Rodrigo. Absolutely. It makes it stronger. So yeah,
Thank
please
you.
do. Yeah, absolutely. I have a question though. What will you do if your partner is very quiet?
Keep talking.
Him a question, ask him something.
Yeah.
You mean in the room, or you mean at the moment to take the test?
I mean, in the test, so in this part, it's important the collaboration. Or you're doing this with a partner. What if your partner doesn't say much? Is what I mean.
Maybe
Somebody
we
said
can
that.
help him or her to answer using questions, or maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Really, absolutely. It's really important. They're looking at how you interact with somebody else. Yeah. So it's really important that you try and include your partner. If your partner is really quiet, ask them questions. What do you think? Shall we talk about this? Yeah. Have you had any experience with this? Make sure you try and include them. If they don't answer your questions, there's nothing you can do. But if you don't try and include them, you will lose points. Yeah. You must try and include your partner. Equally, what will you do if you are quiet and your partner is speaking too much?
We lost points.
We have to interrupt him. We have to interrupt him.
You have
and
to
try to contribute more. Not him speaking.
Exactly. Yeah, you do. I mean, I know, I understand that this is personality sometimes. Some people don't like interrupting. I don't like interrupting, but we have to. Yeah, because you have to speak. Because the examiner, only if it's very severe, the examiner might say something. But really, this is up to you to manage this part of the test. No, so yeah, like Daniel says, it's only for 15 minutes. Well, this part's only for 2 minutes, no? Interrupt your partner. So, sorry, can I say something? You have to. Your partner will lose points because they didn't invite you to speak. But equally, if you don't say anything, you won't get any points for interaction. I don't mean you will get no points on the speaking. Please don't think I'm saying that. But it is important that you try and manage the interaction. And managing the interaction means that you and your partner try and speak for almost equal amounts of time. Okay, there's a part 4. I'm not going to show you any more videos. Oh, and we are running out of time. I was going to show you. So part 4, the examiner will
both candidates.
No. The examiner will ask you some questions. Yeah, this is the rubric that the examiner has. So this is part 4 is a kind of a more general discussion. Yeah, but I'm going to stop sharing it. Yeah, but different to part 1. Remember, part 1 is about you, and part 4 is more general. Do you think people should do this? So it's a little bit more abstract as well. Teachers, I've kept you too long. I knew this would happen. I'm terrible at timing. does anybody have any questions about anything?
Can I see the time? For example, I have 1 minute. Can I see the minute passing as the examiner? She have a timer.
Yeah, the examiner has a timer, but they really need to be looking at it. I mean, they will tell you when the time is up, but they won't show you the timer. Yeah. I mean, you need to kind of like start practicing this. And what does it feel like to speak for a minute? You know, because if you think about it, you've got 2 photos. So you could describe briefly, 1 or 2 sentences each photo, then compare them, and then answer the question. And that's, that's probably going to be a minute. A minute is actually quite short. Yeah. So make sure that you don't spend too long just describing them. Okay. All right, guys, I am really going to have to go now. Remember, next class, we're going to be looking at each of the different papers, in all of the different classes. So if you've got any questions about the speaking, write them down and bring them to the class on Thursday. We'll have time to look at this. Okay. All right,
I have
guys.
a question.
Yes.
In general, are we able to see this video one more time? I mean, can we have the recording just in case?
I am recording it. So if you, I am
think
recording
the question if you can share us the recording.
Yeah, that's my question. Yeah. Can you share the recording, the link? We need to have it.
For the lesson? For the whole lesson, you mean, Rolando?
Yes.
Yeah. I will. I will talk to Bestseller because they have your contact. So yeah, we can get you the link. No problem.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to go, teacher. So as Thursday, come along. As I say, if you've got any questions about the speaking, write them down, and we can talk about it at the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye. Before you go, can you all just we've got some questions in the chat. Can you all just write your name, because this chat is saved. Just write your name in the chat before you go. This will be for the attendance. I know some people are not here now, but just write your name. Excellent.
Only the name?
Your name, just your name. This is just to show that you were here. We'll be doing it again at the end. This is kind of like the attendance now. And you're free to go. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I've kept you a little bit longer. And I will see you on Thursday, guys. It's the same link, same time, same everything on.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Catherine.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. See you on Thursday.
Bye. See you on Thursday.
Thanks a lot. Have a nice night.
Thank you. Jackie. Oh, she's got Jackie, put your full name. You just put Jackie. Yeah, if you put your full name.
Oh, okay. So you needed my full name? Okay. That is Jacqueline Salguero.
All right. Excellent.
There.
Excellent.
That's mine, right? But
Thank
everybody
you.
calls me Jackie, so that's why I say Jackie, and that's it.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's easy,
All
right?
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
so bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.